What secrets lie buried beneath the papyrus scrolls of an ancient scribe, threatening to unravel his life under rigid marital rules? Would you bear to uncover them? The year is 1200 BCE, and you find yourself stepping into the sun-baked halls of a scribal school in Thebes, the faint rustle of reeds blending with the distant hum of Nile life as shadows stretch across the stone floor. Here, in the heart of ancient Egypt's new kingdom, scribes like Amenemope faced marriage sex laws so strict they jeopardized their survival, enforcing fidelity and family obligations that clashed with their demanding roles. Far from a simple tale of duty, this story reveals a resilience that turned personal sacrifice into a cultural cornerstone, shaping the lives of Egypt's record keepers. The New Kingdom, c. 1550 to 1070 BCE, was a golden age of Egyptian civilization. You can picture the bustling streets of Thebes, where temples like Karnak loomed over the Nile, and pharaohs like Ramses II ruled a realm of 3 to 5 million souls. Historical records, preserved in the Ebers Papyrus and tomb inscriptions, detailed a society where scribes, trained from youth, recorded taxes, legal codes, and religious texts, forming the backbone of administration. Amenemope, a lesser-known scribe from the reign of Seti I, exemplified this class, his life documented in fragments of the Instruction of Amenemope, a wisdom text urging moral conduct. Marriage laws, outlined in the Code of Hammurabi's influence and Egyptian legal papyri like the Turin Erotic Papyrus, demanded strict monogamy and heavy penalties for infidelity, placing immense pressure on scribes balancing work and family.
One critical law involved the penalty for adultery. You might envision Amenemope, his hands stained with ink, pausing over a scroll as a temple official delivers news of a neighbor's punishment. Nose and ears severed for a dalliance, as recorded in the admonitions of Ipiwer. Historical evidence, including judicial records from Deir el-Medina, shows that adultery carried severe consequences, with men and women alike facing mutilation or death enforced to protect lineage and property. Scribes, often away on royal duties, struggled to meet these demands, relying on herbal contraceptives like acacia gum, mentioned in the Kahun Gynecological Papyrus, to avoid scandal. Elders spoke of such cases in hushed tones during Nile-side gatherings, their stories reflecting a resilience that turned legal fear into a survival tactic. Life for scribes was a tightrope of responsibility and restriction. You can almost feel the dry heat as you sit in a mud-brick school where young scribes memorized hieroglyphs while their families awaited their return. The satire of the trades highlights their privileged yet pressured role, with long hours copying texts under the watchful eye of overseers. Historical artifacts such as ostraka from Amarna with personal letters reveal scribes like Amenemope juggling marital duties, their survival hinging on discretion. This resilience transformed compliance into a cultural norm, a response to the pharaoh's demand for order in a society valuing lineage above all. The Egyptian worldview shaped these laws. You might hear the soft chant of a hymn to Hathor as a scribe offers a prayer, his work rooted in the belief that marriage reflected Ma'at, cosmic order. Based on religious texts like the Book of the Dead, fidelity was sacred, with adultery seen as chaos, as noted in the Harris Papyrus. Yet this clashed with practical realities. Scribes' absences bred temptation, leading to secret negotiations with priests for leniency. Scribes shared tales of narrow escapes or harsh fates over beer, their narratives preserved in oral traditions, revealing a resilient spirit. These stories suggest a society where law and survival intertwined, the marriage-sex laws bridging duty and peril.
But the question lingers, what drove Amenemope to navigate these unforgiving laws, and who else fell victim to their rigidity? As you stand in that sunlit hall, you might wonder what other hidden struggles of the scribes lie etched in the sands of time, waiting to be revealed. Welcome back, history seekers, as we step deeper into the sun-drenched halls of Thebes, where the life of scribe Amenemope unravels under the weight of ancient Egypt's marriage sex laws. You last stood in the scribal school in 1200 BCE, intrigued by the strict penalties for adultery and Amenemope's delicate balancing act. Now, let's explore how these laws evolved, fostered unexpected alliances, and tested his resilience amid the pressures of royal service and family, a narrative that draws you closer to the heart of his survival story. As the new kingdom progressed, the marriage laws grew more intricate, reflecting societal shifts. You can picture Amenemope in a dimly lit chamber, his hands trembling as he copies a legal decree, guided by a temple scribe's warning after a dream of divine judgment. Historical records, such as the Wilbur Papyrus, indicate that by the reign of Ramses III, adultery laws expanded to include fines and forced labor for lesser offenses, with evidence from Deir el-Medina trials showing scribes fined grain for suspected infidelity. The Turin Erotic Papyrus hints at secret contraceptive use, like honey and natron mixes to avoid breaches, a practice inferred from medical papyri. This evolution turned legal survival into a skill, a testament to Amenemope's endurance under scrutiny. These pressures sparked unlikely partnerships. You might envision Amenemope trading papyrus tips with a priest's assistant during a temple festival, their hands exchanging a discreet vial of acacia gum under a linen cloak. Archaeological finds, including clay jars with residue from Thebes, suggest cross-class collaborations, as noted in the Amarna letters. By Seti I's time, such alliances enriched his strategies, adding coded messages in scrolls, a detail preserved in ostraca fragments. This unity bolstered his resilience, yet drew suspicion from overseers who monitored loyalty, prompting secretive exchanges in shadowed corners, their whispers blending with Nile breezes, reflecting a defiant spirit. The demands of royal service fueled these adaptations. You can almost feel the dry papyrus under your fingers as you sit in a records office where Amenemope worked wait, his family awaiting his return amid rumors of infidelity. Historical accounts, like the Onomasticon of Amenemope, highlight the toll of long absences, with personal letters on ostraca revealing stress from marital expectations, supported by skeletal evidence of overwork from Amarna. Some scribes turned to temple petitions for leniency, a practice suggested by plea inscriptions, a survival tactic shared among peers. This resilience transformed compliance into a cultural response, a means to endure the pharaoh's rigid order. Spirituality underpinned his struggle. You might hear the soft chant of a Hathor hymn as Amenemope offers a prayer, his work rooted in the belief that Ma'at demanded fidelity, as recorded in the Book of the Dead. Based on Egyptian cosmology, priests reinforced these laws with rituals, using amulets to ward off temptation, as noted in the Harris Papyrus. Yet this clashed with practical realities. Scribes' isolation bred rumors, leading to discreet confessions to Wabet priests. Scribes shared tales of narrow escapes or public shaming over beer, their narratives preserved in oral traditions, revealing a resilient soul. This tension shaped his identity, the laws bridging divine order and human frailty. But the mind lingers. How did Amenemope's alliances and faith shield him from these laws' wrath? And what hidden toll did they exact? As his story deepens, the mystery of his survival grows, leaving you to wonder, what drove his resilience and how did it influence Egypt's scribal legacy? Welcome back, history enthusiasts, as we bring the compelling tale of scribe Amenemope to its poignant conclusion. A story where resilience and rigidity shaped a life under ancient Egypt's unyielding laws. You last stood in the shadowed records office of Thebes in 1200 BCE, moved by Amenemope's evolving strategies and fragile alliances amid the marriage sex laws pressures. Now let's witness the climax of his journey, where these laws reached their breaking point and his legacy rippled through time, offering lessons that resonate today. As the new kingdom faced turmoil, Amenhotep's struggle peaked. You can picture him in a Deir el-Medina courtyard in 1180 BCE, his hands shaking as he signs a petition to a temple priest, his body frail from overwork, while a trial looms for a rumored affair. Historical records, such as the Strike Papyrus, note labor disputes and social unrest under Ramses III, with judicial papyri from the period showing scribes fined or exiled for marital breaches, supported by skeletal evidence of stress from Amarna. Despite this, Amenhotep negotiated a reduced penalty, community service, using a coded letter to a priestly ally, a resilience that turned his desperation into a final stand. The strain was palpable. Some peers faced mutilation, yet his diplomacy prevailed, a testament to his enduring spirit. The resolution came with his retirement. You might imagine the last scroll Amenhotep penned in 1175 BCE, his hands slowing as he records a family blessing, the office quiet save for the Nile's distant flow. The rise of the Third Intermediate Period, documented in the Great Harris Papyrus, saw these laws loosen as central authority waned, with European accounts like Herodotus's Histories noting a shift in marital norms. Yet his legacy endured. Oral traditions in the instruction of Amenhotep preserve his wisdom, inspiring modern studies on ancient labor rights, as seen in 21st century Egyptology. This thread wove his survival into a cultural narrative, linking past resilience to present insights. The spiritual resonance was profound. You can almost hear the final hymn to Ma'at fade as Amenhotep offers a parting prayer, his life seen as a testament to order, per the Book of the Dead, as recorded in temple inscriptions. The Wabbit priests' rituals waned under foreign influence, their texts lost. But stories persisted. Fragments in Ostraka and later Coptic records, preserved by descendants, speak of his narrow escapes, turning his trials into a legend of endurance. This fusion of faith and fortitude left a legacy of adaptive strength, a lesson in navigating rigid systems. Today, his tale resonates. Amenhotep's struggle prefigures modern debates on work-life balance and legal equity, linking his laws to contemporary labor rights movements. His resilience shapes discussions on cultural preservation. As you stand in that quiet courtyard, consider this. What lessons from Amenhotep's life under these laws still guide our understanding of duty and survival? The answer might lie in the whispers of those ancient scrolls, waiting to enlighten us anew. Thank you for joining this journey. Stay tuned for more mysteries from history.